What's up, everyone? Welcome back to YGC. I'm Justin. For the first time ever, we will be doing a solo video. As promised, I will bring you my mock draft 1.0. There'll be many more of these, hopefully down the line. Come draft time, I will definitely do on the Instagram page, which you can find down in the description below. Probably like a week and a half out from the draft, definitely a week out. I'll do daily mock drafts from there and so on. I'll definitely do full length videos. Hopefully, I hope to do two more of these before draft time. I know it's getting close, but I figured it's about time that we get one started. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You want more draft content? You can find us on Instagram, as I said, TikTok, everything down below in the description. And let's get this started. One, the Chicago Bears, the most obvious pick of the draft. It's going to be Caleb Williams. I know people are probably tired of hearing about it. He's not a victim of overscouting because he is going to go number one, but we've known this for well over 18 months at this point that he will be not only the first quarterback off the board, but he will be the first pick. On to the second pick, we got the Commanders. I know now the norm is becoming that Jaden Daniels is selection here, and actually, as of today, with the owners' meetings, there's rumors that JJ McCarthy could be the second guy off the board, which I'm not buying that yet, but we'll see when we get closer because I do think the smoke has turned into fire on him going to the top five, as we will see when we get down the line here in a few picks. However, I'm going to sway from the now norm of Jaden Daniels. I'm going to take Drake May. I think he himself has been a victim of overscouting. We've known for a while. We talked last year about last year's draft, even that next year there's quarterbacks coming out that people really like, and it was Caleb Williams and Drake May. So it's another guy that we've known for a while is probably going to go high. It's definitely possible they take Jaden still. However, I'm not picking this only for because I think it's the way to go. I think it's also just going to be reality come draft time, but it could go the other way as well. On to number three, we got the New England Patriots. Jaden Daniels, quarterback from LSU. I know there's a chance they go best player available here. I know there's a chance they trade down. The Vikings, it's known around the league now that they are definitely trying to move up for a QB after acquiring the number 23 overall pick from the Texans. So now they have two firsts to go up. This could be that first spot where you could see the Vikings come up and get their guy. I think Marvin Harrison is definitely in play here as well because I think Patriots would be fine with just trotting out Jacoby Brissett next year, who has played at a high level the last few seasons when he's gotten a chance to. And you put Marvin Harrison into that offense, and it's not a great offense still on paper, but now that you've got that alpha wide receiver in there, you think a lot differently about it. But we're going to keep it simple here. They don't plan on being this high again, I'd assume at least. And they're going to take the QB of the future. They're going to take Jaden Daniels. And that will lead us on to the fourth overall pick, the Cardinals. Again, another place where they could definitely trade down. However, we're going to stay Marvin Harrison Jr., best player in the draft. Not really an explanation needed of why they're taking him. And that'll get to number 5 overall with the Chargers. And this is where things I think could get interesting. The Vikings, this is where they're going to move up. Chargers, we're just going to keep it simple. They're going to get those 11 and 23 overall picks. They're probably going to get more. I'm not exact why. Like, look at the draft value chart. I'm sure you'll see how it would exactly work out, but we're just, for this, it's a one round mock. Just going to keep it simple. They get 11 and 23. Vikings now on the board. We're going to take JJ here. He will be a top 5 pick. The smoke is really turning to fire with that. And with them moving up to 5, the Giants at 6 could have had an eye on McCarthy. Vikings move up and jump them, and that will lead us on to pick 6 with the Giants. Maybe they don't get the QB they want and or need, but they get the wide receiver that I know they need, and that's Malik Nabers from LSU. I'm sure Bruce will love it. I'm sure Billy will love it. They haven't had a wide receiver that can really be proud of and root for and just be really happy to be on your team as a star since OBJ, who also went to LSU. So I'm sure there's also that extra factor to it we've heard Bruce for a while talk about how he really wants Malik Nabers on the Giants, and I think he'd be very happy if he would still be there at 6. Now, of course, Chargers could stay there at 5 and take him as well, but for this scenario, we're just going to keep Chargers trade out. Giants get Malik at 6. Number 7, Titans. If they stay put, I think it's another obvious pick of Joe Alt falls there. You take him and you don't think twice. I mean, He checks every box as a tackle. He'll be your cornerstone left tackle for the foreseeable future. Put him next to Skoronski. I think you don't have to worry about the left side of the line for the next 8 to 10 years. And he even has a Hall of Fame name, I think, as a tackle. I mean, come on, Joe Alt. That just screams Hall of Famer. I'm not saying he will be, but it's possible. Falcons, number 8. This is when I think the first, not head scratching pick, but when you look at a lot of mock drafts, you'll see Dallas Turner go here. Maybe they trade out. Earlier on, you saw that they could take a weapon or a quarterback, but now that's out of the question now with Kirk Cousins and Darnell Mooney coming in, and now they have a pretty complete offense. So we're going to go defensive, as most mock drafts are now, but we're going to take Quinyon Mitchell, corner from Toledo. It's probably the first eyebrow-raising pick of this mock draft, and I do think there's a multitude of ways they can go, but I do think Mitchell can sneak into the top 10, and this is the place that it is. As you put him opposite of A.J. Terrell, I think that's very enticing for the Falcons to do. Move us on to number 9. Another trade here. The Bears, they moved down to pick 18 and gain some draft capital, maybe the second-round pick that they lost from Montez Sweat, and the Bengals now come up to number 9. I know it's out of the ordinary, but they're going to take Rome Odunze, jump the Jets and the Chargers, 2 teams who probably have Rome on their radar. You also can – Brock Bowers is in play here as well. I think this is when we're in that area of come draft night. It's when is Brock Bowers going to go? I know early on in the process, number 5 to the Chargers was a thought, but now we're looking at this 9, 10, 11, 12 range. However, with Rome still there and T. Higgins possibly not even being on the roster come draft time if he gets traded, I think they're going to move up, get Rome Odunze, him and Jamar Chase. You got Joe Burrow. They're stacking up. They're trying to compete with the best of the best. So I think they would be willing to make the move up to sacrifice some of the draft capital to get a guy like Rome. That takes us to number 10, my favorite team, the Jets. They're not back into a corner anymore on this pick. Now with tackle and wide receiver signings. Rome not being there, I think Rome would have definitely been an option if he was. Brock is for sure in play here, and it's definitely possible. Trade down is in play here if it's possible. Like sometimes a deal isn't made. When I was doing this, I wanted to trade down, and my preference is to trade down and try to get a second-round pick. But when I was even using the simulator, like teams that were – I try to keep it teams that were interested that they give you, and it was teams like the Seahawks that don't have a second-round pick, the Saints that don't have a second-round pick, and just nothing really came of it. But instead of taking Brock Bowers or even one of the pass catchers or Troy Fatnow, who I would love to trade down and get, I'm going to take Olu Fashanu from Penn State. I think he has possibly the highest ceiling of any of the tackles in this class, especially as a pass blocker. And you put that behind Tyron Smith, he's probably going to end up playing this year, as Tyron Smith has missed multiple games every year since 2015. Hopefully he's on the field healthy more often than not, but still there's a likelihood this guy plays. And you have 2 tackles on 1-year deals, so he'd probably be stepping in as a starter just next season. Excuse me. And hopefully that's your long-term answer at left tackle, and I think there's a very good shot wherever he goes, he will be that. So it's still a good pickup for the Jets, even if he's not starting week 1 this year, and I know a lot of Jet fans are going to want to take a guy like Brock Bowers and go forward with that, but I wouldn't. I think Olu would be a great pick as well. On to the Chargers now at 11 from the trade down. We're going to see a little bit of run on tackles here. They're going to take J.C. Latham. Drafting a bookend right tackle opposite of Slater feels like a very Jim Harbaugh move to me. Why Latham? I think there's a chance the NFL has him higher than what the consensus is among the media and fans. I think there's a chance he could even be on some teams' boards the second best offensive tackle behind Joe Alt, compared to probably what you see him usually at, like the 4 or the 6 range.